Is there anyone else wishing to be heard? Mr. Zipper.
Eugene Zipper, Greenwood Avenue. When I arrived at the meeting tonight, it was a couple minutes before 8, and I was interested in the agenda and some of the backup material that is supplied in conjunction with the agenda. And all I was able to find outside were these two pieces of paper, whereas I noticed around the room there are other individuals, qualified and justified, I'm sure, who have the backup data. So when I look at this thing and I read these resolutions, I don't have a clue what you're talking about, and I think we're entitled to it. The point I'm trying to make here is that it seems to me if you're going to give out the backup data so that people will understand what you're talking about and what is being decided, that the public should be entitled to it too. Now, I'm one of the taxpayers here and a member of the public. And I don't see why, I don't feel it's discrimination. I think it's just oversight on the part of whoever arranges these things. Now, I know there may be economy reasons in back of it, but I sort of object to the idea of my not being able to understand what you folks are talking about here. Now, there are several items in these resolutions. You talk about, oh, I don't know, a contract was awarded here. I have no idea what the amount of money is involved. I heard something about the fire chief and acting fire chief. Fine, I don't object to it, but I'd like to know what you're deciding. That's a small issue. My big issue has to do with the lengthy discussion having to do with the electric rates and the budget. Now, as I understand what you were talking about, the cost of running the borough is, say, roughly round numbers, $25 million a year. And heretofore, say, a number of years ago, not too many years ago, but the electric utility of ours generated a surplus. I call it a profit, but the surplus and profit, they're synonymous. And that surplus, or profit that was generated, paid for about half the municipal budget. If the municipal budget was, let's say, round numbers again, $20 million, the profit from the electric utility picked up maybe 10 million of it, and that resulted in a lower tax rate for us. So now you're trying to decide here what to charge for the electricity and what to charge us in the form of taxes. Now, I, for one, would favor paying my share of that 25 million cost of government in the form of taxes, because I'm able to take a little bit off my income tax returns, and it saves me a few dollars here and there. I'm still paying the same amount. My share is, let's say, $12,000 running the budget. So if I pay more of that, and if I pay electricity, then I can't take that off. It's a cash outlay, out-of-pocket expense. Whereas if I pay part of it in the form of taxes, I could take something off. And I just wonder if that sort of philosophical approach occurs to you folks, or if it is appropriate to consider something like that in reaching your decisions. Okay. Does that come up at all?
First of all, let's go back to the agenda. I believe everything's posted online. All the resolutions and all that are posted online.
We're making more copies of the full packets available.
But they are online before the meeting. They're also published and posted on the bulletin board ahead of time. We had a pretty big audience tonight, so they probably ran out of copies as well. So, you can only guess. I mean, we do 50 copies and
so
3 people show up.
If I got here early enough, I would have been able to obtain a copy.
Yeah, or check it online, because it's up. As soon as the agenda's ready and is up online for everyone to look at, it should be an attachment there.
What is this online? I'm not quite with you.
Right, on the gov.rosenet site.
Okay.
So, we try to make it as accessible as possible. We're not trying to hide it.
Well, you've answered my question. Copies were available. I just didn't get here in time to pick one up. But okay, thank you.
Now, the electric. Okay. First of all, we've never brought over $10 million in surplus. I wish we had half of the budget coming out of the electric surplus. The point I think you need, and Mr. Conley brought that up before about, some people would rather pay for it in their taxes, just like some towns you pay per bag for garbage. We have our garbage in our tax rate, so you've got that little deduction there. The idea that Mr. Califa was trying to say is we just don't have the money to pay the bills because of these unusual charges and expectations that come up in the bill, and having it ahead of time. So it's the cost of running the utility itself, not even so much as looking to build a surplus because you want to use it to reduce taxes. We've not added any capital to the capital fund of the electric utility itself, so for its own infrastructure needs. We don't have the money to take that to fund other capital projects as we've done in the past. So, when Gary Ruckelhaus was mayor, it was pay as you go. And so we never bonded for anything. You've seen a sea change on that in the last couple of years. It's recouping the cost and trying to pay.
Well,
you're
buying
buying something, you got to pay for it somewhere else.
You've answered my question. It is an aspect of what you decide that is taken into consideration when you decide on the electric rates will be so much and the tax rate will be so much. I just wondered if you took it into consideration.
We certainly do. For us to double the rate for the tax for electric would not be realistic. And when we're so far above the real world, it really is just another name
we
for
pay
tax.
the same amount of it.
We're a very close area. But the other, I want to emphasize what Robert said before, that with the amount of money that Mariana pointed out, we need $1 million just to run the utility. The extra $3 million, if we took that out of there, the ratepayers may save 10% on their electric, but their taxes will go up 25% to recoup that. And so you would never recoup that on your deductible on your federal taxes. So in the bottom line, in this one, the residents are coming out better.
Mr. Conley, you say you would never. Does this mean you've actually put the numbers on a piece of paper, or are you just speculating?
I'm just speculating. I pay an accountant to do my taxes. So I will ask that question when I have my taxes done this year.
Mr. Zipper, one other thing also. Your property taxes are deductible, but we can't tax exempt properties in town, but they do use our electric. You can cut back your electric use. Most of the tax exempt properties are rather large in nature, and they really don't dial it down as much as you can. So it's one of the ways to help, take the pain away from the property taxes in a sense. And I think you have to look at it that way also.
So you're saying then that the tax-free properties in Madison are paying part of the burden of running the government. That's fine.
Yeah, really. That's really what it all boils down to. Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Zipper. Hi, Mr. Zipper.